A week has passed, and our various crews and work centers have been putting in some pretty long nights. In addition to getting the cargo pods built and prepped for launching, we are pulling together an entirely new mission, in the impossible time frame of 6 months. If we were NASA, we'd do a 6-year study before we ever started building hardware or training crews. Things are a little different here. Mars Clipper is a private company. We build most of our own hardware, write some of our own software, and have to answer to our investors. On the other hand, we're a pretty close-knit crew. We probably get along better than most families. It's pretty cool to see everyone pull together for a common goal. Losing Blue Moon could have been devastating. In a way, this new mission gives us something to focus on. We won't forget. Space is hard. And some things are just beyond our control. A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not where ships belong.
Okay, let's get started. I know you've all been busy this week. Are you ready, Kim?
We are ready. I brought Adam along today. We've decided to split the tasks. The AI team has been working with the pod team for quite a while, developing the sensor network and control systems. Just for a quick recap, we're using AI, or Artificial Intelligence systems, as a way to help monitor and control the ship's systems. If we didn't have that in place, every single sensor and readout would have to be beamed back home, and we'd have to make a decision, and then send the instructions back again. By using the ship's systems to make the decisions, we can speed things up considerably. The really cool part of that, it turns out, is the AI can also make a really nice interface for the ship's crew, using the same kind of interface as we were writing for the remote control. Adam and our AI team have been looking at an idea this week, and, well, let's just have Adam explain it. The ship's systems are already AI controlled and monitored. When we were first thinking of building our little robot friend, the first obvious thing that comes to mind is that it has to be awesome, like on Star Wars or Buck Rogers or something. Some of that can actually be done in open source now. Most of the hard problems have already been solved. But then Kim reined us in and made it a whole lot simpler. The AI core can be the brains for the robot. The robot is just a mobile platform. The robot doesn't have to be very smart at all. We let the ship's systems do the heavy lifting. The robot could do obstacle avoidance, but the AI core does the navigating. And all the processing is from the AI core. Now, all we have to do is make a practical robot that can move around the ship on her own and not cause too much trouble. Maybe help with some tasks. And anytime our human crew has a question, they just ask the robot, which would then relay the question back to the AI core, which then looks up the system and finds an appropriate answer. Plus, in the background, that question could be routed back to Mission Control, who can then add a more detailed answer. The AI core is faster, and there's no radio lag. Since we have such a short window before launch, we decided to make something really simple, using as many off-the-shelf components as possible. We'll set up spare parts kits, so if something breaks, it's a simple matter of just unbolting and unplugging, replace the part, and we're back in business. We'll be keeping notes of any advanced ideas we want to try later, but the first goal is to get the robot on her wheels and into testing. Software we can update later. Some hardware we might be able to 3D print improved parts. Well, we'll send the files. Then the parts can be 3D printed out on the spaceship.
Okay, wow, that sounds really good. So it's a girl robot then?
Well, it doesn't have to be, but we kind of just started thinking of it as her. Probably from all the GPS and assistant software that uses a female voice. If we have time, we'll write the software so that the end user can change some preferences.
Okay, that works for me. So have you had time to come up with any designs yet?
Well, I have this sketch. Not a lot of detail, but let me walk you through it. First, we figured humanoid would be more friendly than if we just sent a cube or something. She will be smaller than an adult, maybe 4 feet tall. Smaller seems more practical. She won't get in the way as much. It will limit how much she can help, though, maybe. We think wheels for mobility are easier and more reliable. The decks on the ship are going to be flat, so we don't need tank treads or anything fancy like that. And a walking robot isn't always very stable. Plus, with microgravity or low gravity, it would be really hard to test that here. The head will have standard cameras, and the antenna in the sketch are from the EVA suit. They're Wi-Fi. We were talking to the EVA shop, and they have lots of spare parts. Besides just being a fun design language for the robot to look like our EVA suit, there were some practical parts there. The lights, the Wi-Fi, the camera pods, we'll just reuse as many parts as possible. If we run out of time, some of those parts could be added later, since they're all based on spare parts anyway. The body panels will be vacuum formed from polystyrene. That's durable and easy to do in low volume runs. We don't need any fancy equipment like injection molding. We could have a body mocked up in a week, and then we can refine from there. Motors and servos will be off the shelf, either from radio control hobby parts or hobby level robotics. While we probably do have the budget for higher quality parts, I think for the 1.0 version we should keep it simple. The next version will have more time to get fancy. And again, Kim's AI team will be handling all the programming. I've got the parts I need, and we should have at least a prototype rolling around in the next week.
Okay, on the surface that sounds pretty ambitious, but as you say, if the AI can drive it, the robot doesn't need to be all that complicated. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Good job, guys.
Okay, Dreads, roll the fancy graphics.
I'm sorry, the fancy graphics aren't finished yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just have to wing it then.
That's your plan for everything. This should be fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Oh, and don't forget comments.
But most of all, thank you for watching the video to the very end.
Yeah, you're awesome. Bye-bye, ducks.
Bye-bye, ducks.
Quack.